Good evening and welcome to ABC 31 News Tonight. I'm Scott Beadle. Tonight's big story, tomorrow is Earth Day and Kleco has been celebrating this week with their own special touch. ABC 31's Joanna Phillips has the story.
Earth Day is normally seen as a time to show appreciation for things like trees, wildlife, and clean air. Kleco decided to celebrate Earth Day a little differently by focusing on energy efficiency. The Kleco Customer Service Office in Pineville had energy experts on hand today to discuss and answer questions about their energy efficiency programs.
We have a vendor here working with us, Clear Results, and they're meeting with our customers as they come through and taking their information and giving them energy conservation tips and also giving them light bulbs and literature to help them conserve.
Customers who inquired about these programs received a bag filled with products designed to conserve energy. The bag included a list of programs, light bulbs, a shower head, and a few more items to show customer appreciation.
A normal shower head will use 2.5 gallons per minute. This one's doing 1.5 gallons, a gallon and a half per minute. Your regular incandescent bulb is 60 watts and it uses 90% or more heat. There's no heat that gives off on this light bulb. It lasts, 10 to 15 years, 10,000 hours plus, to where your incandescent bulb lasts about 1,000 hours. So you're using less energy, you have no heat, and it lasts a lot longer. Along with the light it produces a lot whiter light, brighter light.
To learn more about Kleco's energy efficiency programs, you can visit their website at kleco.com. Joanna Phillips, ABC 31 News.
Early voting for the April 29th elections ends tomorrow night at 6. 5 school taxes, all continuations and renewals, are on the ballots. They include Roe Gully, Coteal, Big Island, 5th Ward, and Ruby Wise. Precincts are open from 8:30 to 6. The state of Louisiana has one of the highest rates of child abuse and neglect. ABC 31's Shar Thomas attended a prayer vigil today in recognition of Child Abuse Awareness Month.
Many people showed their support today as the Rapides Children's Advocacy Network, formerly known as the Rapides Children's Advocacy Center, held a prayer ceremony to acknowledge Child Abuse Awareness Month. Executive Director Wade Bunn of the Children's Advocacy Network is overjoyed with the turnout for the ceremony and the growth of the organization.
We are overjoyed. It's been a beautiful, long journey to get to where we are today, and it's truly a blessing to be among concerned citizens throughout Central Louisiana who care and champion the needs of children.
Wade is thankful for the positive feedback from the community. The Rapides Children's Advocacy Network is open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. They're currently looking for volunteers. If you're interested, you can stop by 1751 Jackson Street or visit their website at www.rapidescac.org. The Rapides Children's Advocacy Center invited the public to a prayer ceremony for abused and neglected children in observance of National Child Abuse Awareness Month. Shar Thomas, ABC 31 News.
LSU of Alexandria and the Central Louisiana Technical Community College announced a new partnership today that brings more opportunities to students.
Chancellor Huang and LSUA have signed an agreement that is a benefit to all students of Central Louisiana and Louisiana, where we signed 2 articulation agreements that speak to concurrent enrollment and to transfer of our students that have up to 60 hours that can come here and have junior status on their first day.
These 2 programs will be attractive to potential college students. If they enroll in one of these schools, they will have more opportunities to attend classes on both campuses. And it's closer to home, and both are state universities, and both are affordable programs. So, it would be a double gain for the students and the universities.
Concurrent enrollment will allow students to be enrolled at both institutions, and students from the community college will be eligible to transfer to LSUA after completing 12 credit hours. Both agreements went into effect immediately today after that signing. We have some changes coming to our forecast this weekend. Chief Meteorologist Chris Summers is here with a look at your weather now.
Hey, Scott. Yeah, definitely watching an active weather pattern set up over parts of the area anyway as we head into our Saturday. Right now, seeing some active weather in parts of eastern Texas, up into parts of southwestern Arkansas, and just getting into northwestern Louisiana as well. Showers and thunderstorms developing in that region will eventually push into our area as we get into the early morning hours through the afternoon hours of our Saturday. So scattered showers and thunderstorms, very likely. Still pretty warm, though, upper 70s expected in most areas. Not really a lot of severe weather expected for us, as again, we're seeing the timing of the system come through maybe earlier in the day, and some of that severe weather actually coming to parts of southeastern Louisiana as we head into tomorrow afternoon. Now, once the system moves by, though, clouds decrease, much cooler temperatures arrive on Sunday, and then we eventually get back into some warmer temperatures by early next week. Here's that front we're talking about. It's going to make its way through our area for your Saturday, getting about right on top of us by about noon or so Saturday afternoon, but showers and thunderstorms ahead of that. Behind that, though, much cooler temperatures for at least one day before some warmer weather returns early next week. And we'll talk more about that with your full weekend forecast coming up in just a few more minutes.
Thanks, Chris. In 1989, Karen Hill's life was cut short when she was abducted from a convenience store she worked at and later found dead. Now her killer will walk free on Sunday after serving only 17 years in prison for the murder. WBRZ's Chris Nakamoto has the story.
In the middle of the Kisatchie National Forest, the beautiful branches on this oak tree offer shade in a picturesque setting. But for Kenneth Williams, a detective of 42 years with the Vernon Parish Sheriff's Office, the shady story of this tree toyed with his emotions. It's the first time he's been back to it in almost 30 years.
You don't forget it. And when I looked at the tree, it was just like she was still tied to it.
You can see it right here. Her eye was open. She was looking at it when he shot her.
These never-seen-before crime scene photos indicate the suffering Karen Hill endured when her life was cut short by a cold-blooded killer. Many of the photos, too graphic to show on TV from 1988, highlight the brutal nature of the crime. Hill was abducted from a convenience store where she used to work, raped, tied to a tree with this shoelace, and shot in the left eye with a .22.
What is it like to come back to the spot where you found Miss Karen Hill?
It hurts.
Why one with such a heinous crime?
Jessie McWilliams is Hill's mother. She flew to Baton Rouge from Illinois to tell her daughter's story.
And this was 2 days before Thanksgiving, which now for my family is horrible.
McWilliams remembers getting that phone call that changed her life.
Knock your socks off.
Forever.
How often do you think about your daughter?
All the time. I cannot look at my grandchildren and not see her in their eyes.
For almost 10 years after her daughter's death went unsolved, McWilliams had no justice as her daughter's killer roamed free until Samuel Galbraith bragged to the wrong person who went to authorities.
Seemed like somebody could go in.
At the time Hill was murdered, District Attorney Asa Skinner was a young prosecutor.
He had told his friend that he had dreamed and had visions of going to a convenience store, getting a woman, kidnapping them, raping them, and then killing them to see what it felt like.
Before a trial was held, Galbraith pled guilty to raping Hill after DNA evidence linked him to the crime. He also pled guilty to her murder. Galbraith was sentenced to 71 years and told he needed to serve 85% of it. But after serving just 17 short years in Louisiana, Galbraith will walk out of prison on April 23rd. The sign to Fort Polk sits at the base of Entrance Road. It's where Karen Hill was abducted from. Detectives and District Attorney Asa Skinner believe that Galbraith is responsible for other homicides where women went missing in a similar fashion not far from Fort Polk.
There's just too many coincidences to be a coincidence.
Tonight, detectives and District Attorney Asa Skinner called Galbraith a serial killer.
We had the Karen Hill's murder, then we had 3 disappeared. We found 2 of those bodies.
And he's about to walk free. That's because the parole board appointed by Governor John Bel Edwards recently held a hearing and made a 3-0 unanimous decision to release Galbraith.
People trust you. The crime is still there. We can't change this crime. This crime has already happened. We can't change it. I don't have any more questions.
The audio you just listened to was a board member at the parole hearing. During the hearing, the killer is referred to by his first name, and no one but Galbraith's family attended the hearing. It's a hearing that Hill's mother says she wasn't properly notified about at the Illinois address she's called home for decades.
My notification went to New York. I've lived in Albany most of my life, and they have that address.
Do you think it was done on purpose?
Yes, I do. I do.
It was just unconscionable, I thought, that this particular person would get out after serving less than 1/3 of his sentence for such a heinous murder and rape as what he committed.
District Attorney Asa Skinner and detectives wrote letters to the parole board requesting a rehearing. Those were denied.
I don't have an appeal process for what the pardon board does.
With his hands tied, District Attorney Skinner says he has to let the people of Louisiana know a man he believes is a serial killer is about to get released, and your family needs to know to stay safe.
If there's anything that the governor can do, I would just plead with him to intervene and do whatever he can do to prevent this man from being released.
The family of Karen Hill also is begging for someone to listen to them after her killer skirted the consequences for almost 10 years following her death.
I would like you to meet my daughter. This is Karen Sue Eads Hill. She would be 50 years old this year. And the hearing that you had without her mother, without any of her family, was biased. Did you tell his family what he did, how he did it, and how he evaded that and went and got married and had a life? He took her life. He should not be allowed to have the freedom he took from my daughter.
That was Chris Nakamoto reporting. LSUA and the Empty Space Players are pleased to announce the revival of the beloved Shakespeare on the Green.
This April, at the end of the month, we'll be doing 2 performances on April 28th and 29th at 7:30 p.m. in the evening.
And what will you be performing?
We're performing this year The Tempest.
The Tempest will take place on the LSUA Quad and is free to attend. Coming up next, 100 days in office. President Trump hits the mark next week, plus Congress pushes to get a new health care bill ready. The details next on ABC 31 News.
Here comes Mother's Day, and we want you to win a $200 gift card to Natchitoches Pecans. Just visit us online, on Facebook or Twitter. Click, register, and get ready to win. Enter daily through May 9th. It's time to win from Natchitoches Pecans and KLAX ABC 31.
Next week, President Trump will mark his 100th day in office, and it appears House Republicans are trying to give him the gift of a new health care bill. Congress is back in recess in a few days, and the White House has been pushing hard behind the scenes to strike a deal. ABC's Kenneth Moten has the latest from Washington.
President Trump, one day closer to marking his first 100 days in office, optimistic about the House Republicans' plan to take another crack at health care.
We're doing very well on health care. We'll see what happens. But this is a great bill. There's a great plan.
White House aides have been working to revive the president's signature campaign promise to repeal and replace Obamacare. The GOP plan, dead on arrival as Republicans failed to reach an agreement.
It was a very, very tight margin. We had no Democrat support.
Sources say the new plan would keep some popular parts of the Affordable Care Act, like coverage for pre-existing conditions, but individual states could request to opt out of key mandates to lower insurance costs. Republicans hoping to get the deal done before the president's 100th day milestone next Saturday.
My 100-day action plan to make America great again.
The president repeatedly hyped up on the campaign trail what he would do in those first crucial days, even unveiling a contract in Gettysburg. Trump now tweeting this morning, "No matter how much I accomplish during the ridiculous standard of the first 100 days, media will kill."
I think it's been underwhelming. 2/3 of the country thinks we're off on the wrong track, and a majority of the country still disapproves of him. So I think he still has much more to prove.
As Republicans continue to work on health care, there's another potential major roadblock, a looming government shutdown if lawmakers don't pass a funding bill by next Friday. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
Chris has your forecast right after this.
So if it wasn't you, who killed Michael Jackson?
This May on The Dr. Oz Show.
I just know there was a doctor in the house treating him, and he ends up dead.
Gone too soon. What really happened to your favorite stars? Oz investigates. Fast food packaging alert.
Do these chemicals leach into your food and into your body?
Plus, Monday Dieter. Plans and detoxes to get you back on track by summer. All May on Oz.
Watch Dr. Oz weekdays at 11 on KLAX TV.
And welcome back, everyone. A good Friday evening to you. Another warm one out there today. Temperatures into the mid-80s here late this afternoon. But we're watching a frontal system well to our north and west, and eventually by Saturday, that front gets into our area. Bring some showers and thunderstorms along with it. Much cooler weather behind that for your Sunday. And do see a little bit of red on the map too. More seeing that red more into parts of Mississippi and Alabama, where it could see some severe weather along that frontal system. Here in central Louisiana, though, I think we'll stay out of the severe weather. Taking a look at our future radar as we take a look at our Lupa radar. Again, seeing some lines of showers and thunderstorms developing right now in parts of Oklahoma and Texas, extending back into Arkansas as well. That will eventually die out overnight tonight. But you can see a line making its way back through our area as we get into late tomorrow morning, into the morning hours, into about the midday hours or so here in central Louisiana. So we stop at about 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. You can see that line of showers and thunderstorms, but more of a broken line expected to come through the area. May see some heavy rain with some of the storms that do develop. May also see some gusty winds. But again, the primary threat of severe weather will stay further to our north and to our east. Before your Saturday, clouds out there. Still pretty warm, looking for highs reaching about 80 or 82 by the time we get to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Here's a look at our current conditions outside. Still very warm, 84 degrees, mostly sunny skies. That dew point up to 65. Again, a little more mugginess to the atmosphere. South winds at about 10 miles per hour as our pressure is holding steady. High temperatures from today, mid to upper 80s once again. And we'll keep these temperatures warm for one more day, but once that front moves through tomorrow night into early Sunday, that's when some colder temperatures move in, at least for one day. Sunday looks like highs into the 60s in much of central Louisiana. 69 degrees for tonight, then clouds increasing. Could be a little fog around too as our winds get out of the south-southeast about 5 to 10 miles per hour. For your Saturday up to 80, again, could see a few showers or thunderstorms making their way through the area, but again, the severe weather staying to our north and to our east. But look at Sunday, a high of only 66. Some clouds around on Sunday afternoon. Again, much cooler weather returns, but then next week right back in the upper 70s to low to mid 80s. Could be to the mid 80s by Wednesday and Thursday with some dry weather expected for a good portion of next week. Scott?
Thank you, Chris. Coming up in sports, find out who the newest members are of the Generals men's and women's basketball teams and hear what award a former La Tech basketball player just won. That's next.
What made me physically change? Anger, extreme anger. Whenever my anger mounts up, when the metamorphosis happens, I don't even know what it does. That means it's uncontrollable.
The Incredible Hulk on MeTV Alexandria.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Charlie LaPastora. The NSU softball team put up a good fight against number 16 LSU Tuesday night in Baton Rouge. They fell 5-2, but won 2 and lost 2 total on their road trip with 3 games against Southeastern Louisiana, then that one against LSU. After facing fellow in-state schools, they have a 3-game series back at home against Nichols. Nichols is 3rd in the conference, and if NSU sweeps them, they'll be over 500 in the conference. Before that game, though, NSU staff featured one of the many Michaelas on the team on the athletic site today. This time it was pitcher number 99 from Texas, Michaela Bouvier, as she talks about who her best friends on the team are and her favorite memory at NSU so far.
Jordan, she's hated me since high school. Kelly, we go way back actually. She was up to bat when I tore my ACL the second time. But since our 4 years here, we've really bonded. And then Sydney, she's really helped me change my life around too. So.
Did y'all know each other much? I mean, you're from the general area of Texas, that Houston area. Did y'all know each other from travel ball or high school?
Jordan and I did. We played on the same select team since our sophomore year in high school.
Gotcha. Your favorite athletics moment on NSU?
It would have to be sophomore year against Lamar. I pitched a no-hitter, but it definitely would not have happened without my defense and my hitters backing me up and supporting me.
Paul Millsap is in the NBA playoffs yet again, and many of you already know he's there with the Atlanta Hawks. Not only is he an NBA player now, he used to be a La Tech Bulldog from 2003 to 06, and for the 7th straight year and the 9th time in the last decade, Millsap was selected as the Bob Pettit Award recipient by the Louisiana Association of Basketball Coaches. The award is given annually to the most outstanding professional basketball player that went to a Louisiana college. Millsap was an NBA All-Star for the 4th year in a row as a Hawk. When he was a Bulldog, he had 1,708 career points and 1,172 career rebounds. Was a 3-time All-Western Athletic Conference selection and was the first player in NCAA history to lead the country in rebounding for 3 consecutive years. The Generals are welcoming new players to its women's and men's hoops teams. LSUA women's coach Bob Austin announced today the first 3 signings of his recruiting class. Paige Troutman, Kathan Arvey, and Nikendria Wilson are all Generals. On the men's side, Anthony Stove and Michael Carbo. The seconds were both added on Thursday. The defending champs were down 25 at the half on Thursday night at Indiana, but LeBron is called one of the best hoopers in the world for a reason. With his triple-double and the Cavs' tenacity, reports say they set a new NBA playoff record for most points down at halftime to come back and win. To accomplish all this on the road as well was huge for the Cavs as they go up 3-0 in the series. And you don't see this every day, do you? Pro golfer Ken Duke was on his 3rd shot from the sand trap on the par 5 hole 14 in the Valero Texas Open Thursday. From the bunker, he sinks it. Chip that in from that sand trap. Count that as an eagle 3, and he finished with the 4-under round of 68. You gotta love it. Just tossing his visor while he's at it, just surprising himself.
Oh, you got to be excited. That's a great shot.
Incredible.
Thanks, Charlie.
No problem.
We'll be back in a moment.
When a case seems unsolvable, they see the incredible. Murder, motive, secrets. Bones Weekends.
Watch Bones weekends on KLAX ABC 31.
Despite some April showers, it is time for Weekends with 31. The Louisiana Forest Festival salutes the timber industry. It's tomorrow morning at 8 in downtown Winfield. Professional lumberjack sports professionals will be there from throughout the United States. March of Dimes March for Babies is tomorrow at the Alexandria Amphitheater. The organization focuses on prenatal care and care for preemies. Melrose Plantation Arts and Crafts Festival is tomorrow from 9 to 5, as well as Sunday from 10 to 4. The 43rd year for this festival will feature more than 100 vendors and show off the historic home of the late primitive artist Clementine Hunter. A Dutch oven gathering is happening tomorrow at Fort Randolph and Bulow State Historic Site. Learn to cook the old-fashioned way, and lunch is served at noon. Adults play the games they loved as children tomorrow from 11:30 to 1:30 at King Branch. The Gulf District Rose Show will feature an abundance of these popular blooms, along with expert advice on their care and feeding. That is tomorrow from 2 to 4 at Keys Park. The Ms. LSUA pageant dates back to the era when the school largely catered to commuters and women who are going back to school to finish a degree. The pageant is tomorrow at 7 in the Caffrey Ballroom. Hallelujah, a tribute to Leonard Cohen, is tomorrow at the Jewish Temple. This special spring concert is a fundraiser for the Alexandria Museum of Art. Lots to do this weekend.
Yeah, get out and enjoy. It might be a little rain around early in the day, but I think by the afternoon you should see some clearing skies out there, but much cooler for your Sunday, highs in the 60s Sunday afternoon, but then warm right back up early next week.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Have a great night, and thanks for watching ABC 31 News.
Explore strange new worlds on MeTV. Seek out new life.
Look at him. I've seen old photographs of this period. Let's get out of here.
Hold it right there! And new civilizations. Boldly go to Mayberry and the Andy Griffith Show.
When it comes to cleaning up the streets of Boston,
this is who I am. This is what I do. Now get me in there. He did it, and I know where the proof is.
It's ladies first. Rizzoli and Isles.
Weekends at 11 on KLAX TV.